here on Sky Sports tonight. And a very good evening to you. If you're looking for young footballing talent, there are few more reliable guides than the FA Youth Cup. Generally, at this stage of a young player's development, the outstanding young pros start to emerge. But tonight, it's also the dream of the young players of West Ham and Liverpool to give everybody associated with their respective clubs a big lift by bringing the cup back for the club's trophy cabinet. West Ham looking for a double this season at this level. Liverpool have never won this particular trophy. When they lost the final of 1972, Phil Thompson was playing. So how's the recovery from that disappointment going?
Oh, it was terrible, believe me. You get that far, even at that level, and it hurts. You know, there's a lot of people crying on that day. I remember it very, very well. Our fellow Brian Little was playing for Aston Villa.
For Aston Villa?
Time, yeah.
So obviously some pedigree there, Phil. Now, for all their tradition and success, Liverpool appear desperate for some success at this particular level. Why has it been so difficult for them?
See, Liverpool have always looked upon the Youth Cup. You look at it and you look at the training of the young lads, and it's all about getting them ready for the reserve teams and hopefully then for the first team. That is the ultimate aim. But I think once you get to that quarter-final, you start looking, and Steve Highway and Hugh McCauley there with the youth team will have said, hey, we've got this far, let's give it a good crack. And then you also get the lads coming along, showing the pedigree in very sort of tense circumstances.
Very good season for West Ham United, the first team pushing for a top 10 finish in the Premiership. They've won the South East Counties League already. Red letter day in every sense for them, beating Manchester United, the holders of the FA Youth Cup, in the 5th round. How sweet that would have been for Liverpool. And it was a game against Crystal Palace for a place in the final. The first leg won comfortably at home by 4-2, and there was a hat-trick from Michael Owen. And so back to Selhurst Park. But Phil, with a big advantage to protect, Liverpool did their best to lose this game.
Yes, no, I think maybe what was in their minds was losing a last-minute goal up at Anfield to make it 4-2. They knew they'd be under pressure. They knew Palace were a very good team, and that's just how it turned out.
Against some superb finishing.
That is an absolutely wonderful finish. The goalkeeper's moving across to his right. He's caught it perfect. Fabulous finish. And then it goes 3.
And Liverpool must, at this stage, have felt as though they'd blown it again and not reached the final again.
Yeah, you look at it and you say to yourself, you know, they're 3-0 down after enjoying at home great times. But typical, as we were saying before, of Wimbledon, this is typical of Liverpool. You don't lie down, you give it a go, you do your utmost right to the very end.
Jamie Cassidy getting Liverpool on the score sheet on the night.
Dale of them felt in very confident mood.
And then it's down to this man, Michael Owen, who was a star England schoolboy last season, Phil.
Yes, seen a lot of those games, and he scored some fantastic goals. Great ability, great balance. And, you know, when you think that boy's still got another 2 years to go in the Liverpool youth team.
He's, in fact, scored 10 on this run through to the final, but the most important piece of team news is that Owen does not play tonight because he's on tour with the England under-16 squad in Austria. Let's hear from Steve Highway, Liverpool's Director of Youth Football. He's talking to George Gavin.
Steve, incredibly, a trophy Liverpool have never won. How much would you like to get your hands on it?
Well, we'd love to, yeah. Having got to a cup final, we would love to, yeah.
The game is going ahead without your leading goal scorer, Michael Owen, on 10 goals. How much of a problem is that for you?
Well, somebody else will be coming in and taking his place. Michael's done very well and scored goals, but he's in Austria at the moment playing for England, so that's a wonderful experience for him. So we just carry on like all teams do. Somebody else plays, so that's not a problem for us.
In a two-legged final, what are your tactics?
We're a little bit wary of tactics in a sense. They're youngsters, and a two-legged game is a new experience for them anyway, so we're very wary really of making too big of a song and dance about how you play in the first leg compared with the second. We'd like to really say, well, it's a game just like they play back in the local Lancashire League, and play it that way. If we need to give them any information at half-time because of the nature of the two legs, then we will do. But we haven't really made any special preparations here with regard to there being two legs.
Steve Highway talking to George Gavin. So can Liverpool put this elusive piece of silverware into the trophy cabinet? A very famous trophy cabinet it is too. Let's get to Upton Park and find out, and join our match commentary team tonight, Clive Allen, and first a good evening to Martin Tyler.
Good evening, Paul. Good evening to you all. It looks like it will be a good evening here. The ground is filling up nicely. They've got a great policy here tonight. £5 for adults. Children come in free. And there are plenty of youngsters around watching these promising young footballers of West Ham and Liverpool. Let's look at the team lineups for you. Starting, of course, with West Ham. And it's a side that's picked itself throughout this cup run. The family connections of Frank Lampard, the son of the current assistant manager at the club, and Rio Ferdinand, a distant relative of Newcastle's Les, have brought extra publicity. Neil Finn has kept goal in the Premiership at Manchester City on New Year's Day, while striker Lee Boylan has scored in the last 5 matches in the FA Youth Cup.
Yeah, West Ham will stick with the formation that they've played most of the season, applying 3 centre-backs. Ferdinand, very comfortable on the ball, and look to watch him breaking out. Their 3 front players are very, very mobile. They don't tie them down in any one position. They're quite happy to move and interchange position. Frank Lampard, obviously, a key instrument in providing the ammunition for the front men.
Well, Liverpool, as you've heard, have to make 2 changes tonight, with their leading scorer Michael Owen away in Austria with the England juniors. Andy Parkinson gets the opportunity in attack. Centre-back Eddie Turkington was sent off in the second leg of the semi-final, so number 5 Jamie Carragher is switched to the back 4 from midfield, and in comes the number 6 Mark Quinn.
Liverpool play with a traditional 4-4-2, and David Thompson is the man to watch out for in midfield. Played a number of reserve team games and has actually travelled with the first team this season. A big night for Parkinson coming in to fill the boots of Owen, and you expect them to score goals as they have all the way through the competition. I think we're in for a real cracker.
Well, it's the 4th year running we've brought you coverage of the Youth Cup final. You've had a preview of players like Gary Neville, Paul Scholes and David Beckham, Noel Whelan at Leeds United, Mark Kennedy with Millwall 2 years ago, and last year's winning captain Phil Neville already in the full England squad. It's a great night for football talent spotters. It's the first leg of the 1996 FA Youth Cup final. West Ham United against Liverpool, live from Upton Park after the break.
Live cup football tonight from Upton Park. It's the first leg of the FA Youth Cup final, West Ham against Liverpool. We're all set to go, and our commentary team, Clive Allen and Martin Tyler.
Thank you very much, Paul. Mike Riley is the referee. Liverpool to kick off. West Ham and Liverpool not seeing each other for the first time today. They both used the same hotel for their refreshment, relaxation and rest today. Not much was said, a few nods across the restaurant at lunchtime, and now serious business out on the Upton Park pitch. West Ham with a wonderful record, unbeaten since November. 24 games that run, of which they've won 22. And Liverpool looking to make a little bit of club history. So much success at senior level, but never have they got their hands on the FA Youth Cup, which is quite extraordinary when you think of the number of talented players who passed through the club. Twice runners-up in 1963 to West Ham, when Harry Redknapp was in the West Ham team, and in 1972 when they lost out to Aston Villa, and their teenage forward of the times, Brian Little. Partridge. Lee Hodges, one of the 3 up front for West Ham in this formation. Very busy. Hodges, Boylan and Domoyinmi. Here's Hodges. And we had some 6,000 here for the home leg of the semi-final, and the attendance with the well in excess of that, you feel, and still they're coming in. Lee Pryor for Liverpool. Here's Rio Ferdinand, a young man of whom West Ham have really high hopes. Roy Naylor is the Liverpool goalkeeper.
An early indication, Martin, of the way West Ham shape up with the 3 boys playing at centre-back. Rio Ferdinand trying to find the space and be the centre of the 3, enabling him to really play the ball and especially looking for the movement of Frank Lampard in front of him to feed the ball through. Patient build-up from West Ham.
Yes, some of us thought the days had long gone when we talked about Frank Lampard in a West Ham shirt, but his son of the same name and very similar looking for those who might remember the younger days of Frank Lampard, the player here who performed more than 650 times in the senior side. This is Frank Jr. He's already had some Football League experience on loan with Swansea.
And also made a first-team appearance as well, Martin.
Yes, one substitute appearance in the Premiership.
Yes, in which he did very well in the 20 minutes or so that he played.
Pryor. Of course, at youth level, it's really all about producing players for the senior side. But that's not to say that these two teams are not bursting to get some silverware at their level. This is, for many of them, the biggest game of their young lives. Anthony McFarland. Oh. That was a jarring blow against the boards.
Anthony actually flat out, and Lee Pryor coming across just really went shoulder to shoulder with him. There's not too much of a run out here on the side at Upton Park. Chicken run side, he ended up bashing into the boards, but it's certainly not going to stop him this evening. He's back up, straight back into the action.
Here's Ferdinand. Neil Finn, the goalkeeper, who got that dramatic call into the Premiership on New Year's Day. And Ludek Miklosko was out, and Les Seeley was suddenly ruled out of being the deputy. Neil Finn played in the Premiership. Jamie Cassidy. Posed look about Ferdinand in possession. Moyinmi, who was born in Nigeria, has played for England at schoolboy level. An interesting character, Chris Coyne, who's an Australian, not the only one here at West Ham these days, but with very English connections. His father was a professional, played up in the north of England, John Coyne.
Young Chris has done very well. He's come over from Australia. He came on trial earlier on in the season, and they have high expectations of him here at West Ham. He's certainly settled very well, obviously a long way from home, and he's really progressing nicely in the West Ham youth team.
He's one of 8 of this side that are eligible for this competition again next season. The goalkeeper to come. Moyinmi didn't pull out, and the goalkeeper's hurt. The referee, I think, has given a free kick against the West Ham player, Manny Moyinmi.
Yeah, it was left by the fullback, and Manny kept going. He wasn't going to give it up. Brave to take it at his feet, Roy Naylor. I think Manny was entitled to go for it. The keeper took quite a nasty whack from it. Referee was quite right, really. The challenge was just a fraction late.
Coyne with the header. Helped on by Hodges. Boylan chasing and making up the ground very briskly indeed. Hodges wants it back, gets it back. He's a tricky character. And good movement up front from West Ham in that particular raid. Here's John Newby. For Liverpool, easily picked off by Ferdinand. West Ham in the final for the 6th time. They've won it twice in '63 against Liverpool. And in 1981, prompted then by Paul Allen, who won an FA Cup winners' medal a year earlier. I don't have to tell you, Clive, about that.
No, it's quite right. Quite amazing that he'd actually played in the FA Cup final the year before he played in an FA Youth Cup final. Unfortunately for him, a winner on both occasions. Quite remarkable, really. Early signs of the composure from young Rio Ferdinand there. Closed down by John Newby, and he's quite happy just to step aside, confident on the ball, before releasing it out to the wider of the two centre-halves that West Ham play.
And it goes across the back three again. Ferdinand close, I'm sure, to playing in the senior team. There was a suggestion that he might get a run out against Sheffield Wednesday had there been nothing on that game, but as you all know, there's plenty on it now. Wednesday needing something to avoid relegation. It's David Thompson, the midfield player around whom much of this Liverpool side is built. He's got a Quinn either side of him, they're unrelated, Stewart and Mark. And on the left of the four is Jamie Cassidy. Ferdinand. Well, that is an imperious pass. Plenty of grass on the pitch. That's quite unusual these days for West Ham. There was a time when the pitch used to be very bare at this stage of the season. It's perhaps not the truest surface, but Ferdinand's touch there to play that pass was really out of the top drawer. Good control from Hodges. Partridge having to scurry. Can't keep it in. A little bit of misplaced confidence at the back that time. Thompson. That's Mark Quinn getting forward. Thompson supporting him again. Well, Lampard going into the tackle, but he's been penalised. And Liverpool have a free kick in a pretty useful position. Trying a quick thinking approach. Well, David Thompson was very alert when the free kick was given. West Ham still organising. It's given away by Coyne. Liverpool looking at their record, do concede a few goals, but they score plenty. Whether they will do without Michael Owen remains to be seen. Andy Parkinson will hope that they do.
We actually saw a situation there where West Ham really did just try to overplay, and it's something that can be levelled at them at times, with young Ferdinand full of confidence and on the odd occasion just really intent on playing that square pass once too often, instead of moving further forward and looking forward with a little bit more directness, which at times I think they want him to do.
We've certainly got two different systems of play here. West Ham with their three centre-backs, and they've not lost at all since they switched to that plan back in the autumn. Liverpool, of course, play that way in the senior team, but they just feel at youth level they don't quite have the right players to put it into practice.
I know it is a system that Harry Redknapp's tried to adopt with the first team on a couple of occasions, playing Julian Dix alongside Mark Reaper and Slavan Bilic, and I think that he's, you know, bringing these young players on to fill into those situations should they progress well enough, and having been adopted at an early age as it is here, they feel that this is the way that the club should go.
Pryor, easing it out of harm's way. Second leg at Anfield. It's quite a long way off. On Friday, May the 17th. Liverpool had some say in that, although the FA finally rubber-stamped the dates both for this game and the second match. But of course Liverpool want to have Michael Owen available again after that tournament in Austria that he's participating in for England at the moment. There's Cassidy, Parkinson with him. Tackle by Coyne for West Ham. And he got the deflection as well. It's a home throw-in. Here's Stuart Quinn. of these Liverpool players have played regularly in the club's reserve team. Newby, who's still at school, he's a 17-year-old at a rugby playing school in Crosby.
I think there's certainly a marked difference in that, Martin, in that the Liverpool boys are playing in what is really senior football, whereas a majority of these West Ham lads are still playing in youth team football, playing the South Eastern Counties League here in the southern area of England.
Yes, whether that will be a factor over the 2 games we will see, but it's certainly a fact, and it's certainly part of Liverpool's policy, maybe just to toughen them up. The league that is below the reserves is an open age league as well, the Lancashire League, so they were coming up against like adult players in that as well earlier than the London clubs do. Oh, Ianmi trying to make some luck for West Ham here. Goalkeeper's got to head it. Jason Moore to play it back quickly, and it didn't quite get to Boylan. Here's McFarlane. Lampard. Brazier dealing with it. And now Marquardt marauding forward for Liverpool, trying to get it into the run of Newby.
Goalkeeper Roy Naylor's chose twice to come out. Good timing on both occasions. That time he had to clear his box by heading away, but he's sweeping up nicely behind his back four.
As Liverpool a few weeks ago won a prestigious international tournament in Germany with the youth teams of some top German clubs, Fiorentina, Athletic Bilbao from Spain, and Naylor was voted the best goalkeeper of that tournament.
Certainly all about making decisions, and in a situation like tonight, goalkeepers are the one who really can take the brunt of the criticism if they choose wrong. But early on he showed great confidence in attacking 2 potentially dangerous situations, dealing with it very comfortably.
Coyne solidly forward. It really is a good sight around Upton Park, the number of people who are here. It's captured the imagination of the community, and West Ham have always been very much a community club within the capital. Hodges. And good work from Naylor again. Enterprising play from Lee Hodges.
Lee Hodges at his best here, coming in off the line. Good pace, quick feet, prepared to have the shot. Keeper Roy Naylor covered it very well down at his near post, but good attacking play from Lee Hodges.
Hodges takes the corner. Parkinson being asked to hold it up here. Pressed by McFarlane, who'd stayed back. But Parkinson will get another touch. Boylan's certainly not the biggest central attacker, but he's got the mobility as well that the other 2 forwards are blessed with. It's sometimes a problem, Clive, and I'd like your view on this, playing with 3 attackers as to who goes where, but these 3 seem to have a good appreciation of each other's movement.
Yeah, they certainly do a lot of work on the training ground with regards moving and interchanging, and not one of them's really tied down to playing in one particular position. And as you saw there, Lee Boylan in particular is quite prepared to run to all corners of the ground, and Lee Hodges and young Manny change frequently, pop up all over the front line.
Roberts steering it away. It comes back from Coyne. The goalkeeper again. And the referee has spotted the push. It wasn't easy for Roy Naylor.
It's a long ball, but it bounces actually on the 18-yard line. The keeper's done well again. Made a positive decision to come and punch it and clear. the oncoming forwards really couldn't avoid colliding with him.
Pryor's header. So Liverpool looking for a senior and junior cup double under the FA auspices. And you can imagine what the atmosphere would be like at Anfield on Friday, May the 17th. If the previous Saturday Liverpool have won the FA Cup and have got it to parade before the second leg of the Youth Cup final. There are a lot of the senior players from West Ham expected here tonight, and one or two from Liverpool as well. Of course, they're involved in a match at Arsenal. They're actually staying in the same hotel as the youth team. Roy Evans and Ronnie Moran, Sammy Lee all expected to be here, and you wouldn't bet against Jamie Redknapp popping up either, would you? With these two clubs involved. Roberts forward. Not really running. There's grass has been left quite long, and then both goalkeepers have had difficulty dealing with balls that haven't really carried through into their penalty area. Roberts. Ferdinand there in front of Newby. Thompson trying to win it back, but losing out to Hodges, who's begun well. It was a decent idea to pass, but Pryor was well placed. Inmi had gone to the left. Boylan chasing on the right-hand side, putting pressure on the Liverpool left-back, Roberts. On from Boylan. Newby. Parkinson chasing, but Ferdinand had him in his sights. Rio Ferdinand, as I say, a distant relation to Les Ferdinand, but I suppose with that name he's always going to attract extra publicity. But there might come a time when Les is pretty pleased to be related to him, with the potential that young Rio seems to have. What a name too, Rio Ferdinand.
You never know, Martin, they could be playing up against one another. Should Rio progress through to the first team playing at centre-half, they might be knocking heads together one day.
Brazier's head. Lampard. Carrying his run, Hodges with the pass. Enough depth for the Liverpool defending. Carragher came across. He's been switched to the back tonight, remember. Normally operates in midfield, but Eddie Turkington sent off and suspended from this one. He'll be back for the second leg. Omoyinmi. Lampard. Feeling just a bit hesitant about moving forward to support Ferdinand, who's certainly not hesitant when he's on the ball or off it. Hodges. Away by Pryor. West Ham are a bit short of numbers in the box from the cross from Jason Moore. We're hearing that the crowd is already more than 15,000.
Really has captured the imagination of the local people. A long time since 81 and West Ham's last FA Cup final, but there was actually 6,500 here for the semi-final, and they incredibly got nearly 3,000 at the final league game at their training ground just 2 weeks ago when they played Spurs to win the championship. As I say, they're really keen on their youth policy here at West Ham, and the local public are really responding to this.
There's a club with a tradition at this level, but now they've got a problem because Partridge missed out. Parkinson on the ball for Liverpool. They've got two supporting in the centre. Ferdinand, who made a tremendous tackle just a minute or so ago. Was there to hook it away again. Carragher, Roberts. One thing you know about a Liverpool team is they'll try and pass the ball, pass and move. It's been the gospel at Anfield for such a long time. It's a longer ball from Brazier. Stuart Quinn trying to get the job here on Joe Keefe. As you'd expect, most league football, all the league football at youth level is regionalised. So this is the one national competition with a chance for the South to put its wits against the best clubs from the North.
Yes, Martin, this certainly is the big one. This is the one that everybody wants to win at youth level.
Past the halfway mark in the first half. The more awkward moments have come for Liverpool defensively. That's a foul by McFarlane. It's Mark Quinn. Oh, it came off Ferdinand. Quinn's entitled to go for it with his hand. It certainly wasn't an attempted back pass. Stuart Quinn, good play from him. Oh, and smacked in by Newby. Liverpool in front. Very well taken by John Newby in the 24th minute.
Great work from Stuart Quinn down the right. Could have possibly been punched further away by goalkeeper Neil Finn, but when it comes back across, John Newby, clinical side foot finish into the top corner. That's a great drilled cross, though, into it, in low and hard. John Newby in the right place to side foot home into the roof of the net.
So what will West Ham's response be here? Am I in me? Well, it's a little on the late side going down. But it looks to me as though the referee has given West Ham the free kick and a chance to hit back straight away. Joe Keefe over the ball. That's Coyne. So John Newby, the schoolboy who goes to Merchant Taylors at Crosby, where they play rugby, and they're very generous in giving him time off to work with Liverpool Football Club, and they'll be very proud of him at this particular moment.
Yeah, he's honed his technique there again. Great work from Stuart Quinn down the right. Really good drilled ball across, and that's a lovely finish. Didn't try to hit it too hard. Kept over it with a side foot finish into the roof of the net. Clinical stuff.
Well, that's what we said about Liverpool. They do score goals, and now the onus is on their defence to prove us wrong about pointing to the fact that they've been just a little porous in their defending.
But they've scored many a goal all the way through the competition, 3s and 4s. Michael Owen obviously leading the charge, but not with them this evening. What a great response from John Newby.
The youth team coach for Liverpool, Hugh Macaulay, who began as a player at the club, didn't actually make the first team, but certainly earned his living up and down the land. That's Parkinson, but he'll be very pleased, as will Steve Highway, who controls has the overall authority with youth football at Anfield. Newby. Cassidy putting some pressure here on Moore.
I think it's very important now for the young players, in particular West Ham young boys, is that they stick to their game plan. They don't try to change now because they've gone behind in the home leg. And I'm sure Tony Carr will be trying to get information on just to keep them playing exactly the same way. Don't try to start chasing the game, forcing the issue, which could be their undoing should Liverpool score again.
Tony Carr, once a youth player here at West Ham. So really, both the coaches are very emotionally committed as well as professionally committed to the clubs that they work for. Hugh Macaulay's got 4 sons. They're all mad Liverpool fans. And Liverpool are leading against the West Ham youth team. Remember, they haven't been beaten since November. 24 games. The latest of which none of these players participated in because they were rested from the last South East Counties League game against Ipswich on Saturday. The stand-ins got a draw, so kept the run going. Ferdinand. Here's Keith. Newby tracking back. Lampard. A bit nervy from Chris Coyne. Sort of thing that maybe is explained by the tension of a cup final. Boylan kicked the ball away.
He did, yeah. They tried to take a quick free kick. Lee Boylan just towed the ball away rather than let them get on with it. And the referee obviously felt he needs to stamp down on it pretty quickly, show his authority.
Put out by Partridge. Newby, the goal scorer. Hodges just flicked it away from Thompson. Anthony McFarlane, an ambitious pass, but a mistake by Gareth Roberts, and West Ham are still going with Jason Moore. McFarlane intervening again, been trying to switch the play a moment earlier. Cassidy, Coyne drawn out of the centre. Cassidy taking him on. It's Newby again. Good stop by Neil Finn. Another well-hit effort at goal from John Newby.
This time the ammunition came from the left-hand side. Jamie Cassidy doing good work. Chris Coyne thought he made a challenge, it squirmed out. He set it back, this time a left foot shot, which was well struck. Good save from Neil Finn.
Carrier going in unfairly on Ferdinand.
Big save from Neil Finn on that occasion. 2-0 down, and West Ham would have really been up against it.
Ferdinand caught in possession. The pressure from Thompson. And the ball's been kicked away again by Lee Pryor this time. That's another booking.
Well, you have to call that consistency from referee Mike Riley. Lee Pryor's just seen what's happened to young Lee Boylan of West Ham, doing a similar situation.
Mike Riley also takes charge of the second leg. Brazier, the captain. Well, Stuart Quinn certainly didn't pull out of that. Joe Keith went down. The proverbial sack of potatoes, and a free kick for West Ham. Ferdinand's come up, Partridge is up, and Coyne as well, all three of the central defenders. And it's too strong, too long.
There's two opportunities now, Martin. The West Ham have had areas in which they need good delivery from. Wide right earlier on, left again this time, and the crosses have been very, very poor.
Good chasing here by Parkinson. And suddenly found some extra speed then. Boisterous break down the left-hand side. Corner to Liverpool. Mark Quinn's going to get it short and hoisted it high. Test for Neil Finn with a punch. And Carragher got confused there with Stuart Quinn. Pryor suddenly presented it to Hodges. Boylan breaking to the left. Brazier going with him. Keith.
Very impressed with the two midfield boys, David Thompson and Mark Quinn. They've not let Frankie Lampard or young Anthony McFarlane get the ball down and feed it into the front boys. And when they've had possession themselves, they've not given it up cheaply, made crisp, sharp passes, which really have showed Liverpool regime. Very impressed with those two so far this evening.
That's David Thompson. Lampard. Fire's got to be careful, having been booked. And with the second leg more than 2 weeks away, should he get a second yellow card, he will be suspended from that second leg.
This really is a good opportunity, and now they must be looking to get good quality delivery into the box. A third opportunity for them.
And we do feel West Ham have got the height to exploit the set pieces. Hodges. Well, certainly Ferdinand, probably the biggest player on the pitch.
Far better ball from Lee Hodges, flatter and quicker. Rio just gets a slight faintest of touches on it. Unfortunate that it didn't end up on the target.
And on Sky Sports, it's not such a big step from Rio Ferdinand to Les Ferdinand, because on Thursday, of course, Newcastle in action at the City Ground. Such a big game for a very emotional Kevin Keegan. And whatever happens and whatever conclusions we draw from Thursday night, the final countdown on Super Sunday, all the issues on the last day of the season, and what a wonderful finale it is, top and bottom, will be covered on our programme starting at 2. Boylan.
Again, the closing down absolutely superb from the Liverpool lads. No less than 4 players around the ball as soon as the pass was made into Lee Boylan. And that really is the hallmark of Liverpool. Everybody talks about the way that they play their passing game, but they certainly work very, very hard when they haven't got the ball. Very evident here in their young side, this evening.
And Roy Evans will be very pleased at this point with what's going on at the lower level in the club. But they're, as you'd expect with the old Liverpool boot room mentality, they're all very much in it together. Testing opening 10 minutes or so that Roy Naylor came through well. Looking very important now that the rest of the side have settled and really played more like Steve Highway would want them. And of course they've got the goal. A real Liverpool star himself of the 70s.
It's quite remarkable, Martin. I don't think there's a club in the land that has the continuity with playing to staff that Liverpool have had over the years, and I think it must work. It's certainly the magic, one of the magic ingredients that make Liverpool Football Club what it is.
Roy Evans, Joe Corrigan, who's the goalkeeping coach, of course, Doug Livermore, Ray Clements is here, and Sammy Lee.
I think they all played for Liverpool at some time, didn't they?
Just a bit. And here come Liverpool again. Stuart Quinn. West Ham are not being allowed to pass the ball at the tempo they would like.
I think that's exactly right, Martin. They're finding it very, very difficult to play the game at the pace they want to, and the type of passing game that they have obviously adopted most of the season. They've just not been able to get it going, and that's got to be, the credit's got to be given to Liverpool, and in particular those two midfield boys who have harried and chased and closed down very, very quickly.
And that's of obvious concern to Tony Carr on the West Ham bench. So the point we made earlier, Clive, that maybe the respective levels that the players are operating at the opposite ends of the country are a bit different, with Liverpool playing adult football in the Lancashire League and many of these players in the Pontins League, the Reserve League. Liverpool, of course, we shouldn't forget, knocked Manchester United, the holders, out of the Youth Cup. It's in the 5th round.
And I think you probably find that it could become even more evident as the game wears on as well, that they might well be quite capable and stronger of lasting longer in this evening's encounter.
Well, there's the best part of 15,000 people here hoping you're wrong, because they've come to support a side that they've really taken to their hearts in East London. West Ham youth team.
I think, again, one of the amazing things, the crowd are very quiet. Again, something, a hallmark of Liverpool as well over the years, is that they keep the crowd quiet wherever they go away, and I think they consider that a mark of respect if the opposing crowd is quiet. There's 15,000 really hoping that West Ham can do something here this evening, and they're very, very quiet at the moment.
Thompson on the ball again. It's a good and rewarding run from midfield from Mark Quinn. McFarlane was trying to track. The ball didn't get that far forward. Another touch from Thompson. Here's Pryor. With so much movement of footballers these days, our game with such foreign influences on the senior sides, these are pretty much local lads for West Ham and for Liverpool. And West Ham had a lean spell after all their history and tradition in the FA Youth Cup. They weren't getting the best players from East London and from Essex, and it all seemed to go wrong for a time. It's been an important part of Harry Redknapp's philosophy since he's taken on the job to get the strength back. Roberts winding himself up for the clearance.
I know Harry made that one of his first priorities when he came to the club as coach under Billy Bonds, and then obviously succeeding him as manager, that he was intent on getting the youth team policy back on track to produce young players that he felt were going astray, that should have been found locally and should have only wanted to play for West Ham.
Frank Lampard Senior. Put a beard on this young man and identikit.
I know Frank Lampard Senior is a very proud man of his son. A difficult decision for him to make only a couple of years ago when he was tracked by a number of clubs. Tottenham in particular were very interested in taking Frank Lampard Jr. He decided to follow his father here to Upton Park, and it's not an easy task, I can assure you, when you have a name that people know, and obviously he's always going to be compared to his father, who achieved great things here at the club. But Frank Jr. is making a name for himself in his own right.
Well, following in the family footsteps is certainly something the Allens have all managed to do anyway, and I'm sure there are more to come. There's a minute or so to come before half-time here in the first half of the first leg of the FA Youth Cup final. It's been a profitable half for Liverpool. Parkinson. Coyne. They just have to cut their cloth a bit differently, West Ham, in the second half. Trying to be poised at the back, but Liverpool, apart from an odd misplaced clearance like that one from Neil Finn, Liverpool are winning the ball well forward. And pressing West Ham in at the moment, squeezing some of the life out of their game. Pryor. This is good work from Newby. Williams trying to help it on to use the pace of Amoyinmi.
Certainly feel Liverpool will feel it's a job well done in this first 45 minutes. As we said earlier, they've worked tremendously hard when they haven't got the ball, and at times they've passed the ball very well to keep possession and not give West Ham the opportunity to get their passing game going.
Coyne. That's a good touch from Boylan. That wasn't a bad effort from Jason Moore. There was some dip on it in the end.
Good touch from Lee Boylan, and it sits up for him. He's confident to have a go on the volley. Quite right to have an attempt at this stage in the proceedings.
The referee has a look at the watch. Ferdinand forward quicker this time for Hodges. But it's half-time at Upton Park. A good first half for Liverpool. Their goal scorer, John Newby. But their midfield play has been impressive as well. And West Ham, who believe they're the best side in the south of England, have a bit to do in the second half of this first leg. Thoughts of Phil Thompson with Paul Dempsey. That's after the break.
Big crowd in at Upton Park for this FA Youth Cup final, the first leg. But Liverpool, the away team, with the early advantage here. 7 attempts on goal. Liverpool with 2 on target to just 1 for the Hammers. Liverpool have won the bulk of the corners in the first half as well. Only 12 fouls in that first half and 1 offside, but a man from either side has been booked, Lee Boylan and Lee Pryor. The majority of this action concentrated in the middle third, but Liverpool 28% of the attacking play, ball in play for almost 30 minutes in that first half. All of that watched by Phil Thompson with us in the studio. It's pretty much going according to plan, isn't it, for Liverpool?
Well, I don't know. I think if you're looking at it from Liverpool's point of view, you'd have thought he'd been under a bit more pressure. I'm quite excited by the way they started the game, took the game a little bit sort of... the football wasn't as good in the first 10-15 minutes, but certainly Liverpool took the game by the scruff of the neck. You're expecting somebody to start putting the foot on the ball, play a little bit, and it was Liverpool who dictated the play.
And after that early period of domination, probably the most significant chance that came West Ham's way came in the 15th minute, and you needed the Liverpool keeper, to be honest.
Yeah, the Hodges here has looked a threat most of the time. He's come through. OK, maybe a lot of people said, well, he could have got hold of that ball. I think he's done well. He's made sure the pitch is very bobbly, and he's got his body behind it, and he's turned it away for a corner. I think it's a very good goalkeeper.
Liverpool got their reward for their patient build-up play and a little bit of quality around the fringes of the box, Phil, to open the scoring.
Yeah. I think you're looking at this sort of wing play, as you say. Steve Highway, Hugh Macaulay, wingers. Yeah. You get somebody that, get in the box, son. Make sure you get in the box. That is a tremendous ball. You just need to do too much about it. Just get your foot behind it and you've got a chance. It's the quality of the pass, not necessarily the quality of the finishing, which makes it, although it was a tremendous finish by Newby.
John Newby,
it's
yes.
a tremendous bit of skill on the flank.
And Newby's technique also shown up to great effect on the half-hour mark, where he nearly extended the lead.
And with the other foot. Liverpool showed great pace at times. Again, looking to get in the box and cause problems for defenders. Again, takes a bit of a deflection, but then he's showing great quality with his left foot.
How did West Ham get after them in the second half, Phil?
I think they've got to have a little bit more belief in themselves. Obviously, I don't know too much about West Ham. Talking to Clive Allen just a week or so ago, he said they've got about 4 or 5 very good players. The others are sort of more average. I think those ones have got to stand up and be counted if they're looking to get them back into the game. Liverpool all round, defensively, quality, midfield, tackling, harrying in groups, and up front they seem to have the pace. We're seeing flashes of the West Ham style, but I don't think we're seeing it often enough. I think they've got to show a little bit more commitment to it, as Liverpool has showed in that first half.
Quite unusual, obviously, for both the sets of young players to play in front of such a big crowd tonight.
Yeah, some of them will be very nervous. Probably a couple of adults and a couple of dogs watching them in the youth team level. Probably a few more at reserve team level, but here it's a big night for them, and I think they will have enjoyed it. I think the experience will do them good, but I think there's a lot of football still to be played.
How do you see the second half developing?
Well, I think if Steve Highway's in there, he will be saying to them, you know, continue what you're doing, make sure you keep closing down. Liverpool have, don't forget, put a lot of effort into the first half, and I think West Ham will be looking at it. Tony will be saying, look, lads, can they keep this up? Make sure you don't lose anything else. Let's start to sort of impose ourselves on the game, and let's have a go.
2 legs, don't forget that, but Liverpool with the advantage so far in this first leg. The second half to come, and West Ham, backed by this tremendous support here tonight, with a lot to do in the second half. They haven't been beaten, remember, since November in any competitive game. It's a record they want to protect tonight, but they'll have to start from behind in the second period. Park tonight, West Ham against Liverpool, and Liverpool in the drive seat at half-time in this first leg of the FA Youth Cup final. It's West Ham 0, Liverpool 1. Teams on their way out for the second half, but just before we go back live, to remind you, the conclusion to the phenomenal championship race in the FA Karting Premiership over the next few days on Sky Sports. Nottingham Forest against Newcastle in our football special Thursday evening at 7. Can Newcastle keep up the pressure? And let's get back to Upton Park as the Liverpool boys come out and rejoin our commentary team, Clive Allen and Martin Tyler.
Thank you, Paul. West Ham already out, and I just wonder, in dealing with young players, would Tony Carr and maybe even Harry Redknapp have some firm words to say at half-time after that first rather tentative 45 minutes from them?
Yeah, I think Harry would probably have gone in alongside Tony Carr, let Tony say his piece. and then just add that, just try to emphasise how important this game is, and that to do themselves justice and really get themselves and have a go for the whole thing.
So West Ham a goal down. They've beaten Aston Villa, non-league Woking. They won at Queen's Park Rangers, they won at Oldham, and then they beat Wimbledon home and away in the semi-final. All this in addition to winning quite conclusively the South East Counties League title, only the second time in the club's history. So we can expect better from West Ham. Liverpool will hope to operate with the same sort of tenacity as they showed in stopping West Ham settling for their game plan in the first 45 minutes. But here's Hodges, cleared by Carrier. Goalkeeper was already diving just in case he was required.
Much brighter start there from West Ham. Superb 40-yard pass from Rio Ferdinand to Lee Hodges. And that's lifted the crowd.
Here's Ferdinand on the ball again, and Coyne, the Australian. Ferdinand goes for the long ball again, and he's got the range. Pryor did his best, but oh goodness, he's not much of Lee Hodges. Oh, but he's pretty tough. Now he's been pushed to the ground here by Stuart Quinn. Hodges is going to be spoken to as well. I mean, what's the referee going to make of this?
I think he's being very sensible, actually, the referee. Common sense is prevailing. He's just going to calm the boys down. He can see that the temperature's right. It's a good tackle. He played the ball. Lee Hodges has gone to ground. He left his foot high. But that's silly from Stuart Quinn.
Coyne hooked it. We've seen a couple of passes in this second half from Rio Ferdinand to show why people are talking about him, not just because of their family relationship to Les Ferdinand.
Much more positive. Look forward very early into that channel down the left-hand side. Picked out Lee Hodges on 2 occasions. That's lifted the spirits of the crowd and the West Ham side.
Parkinson picked himself up very quickly. West Ham had players on hand. Evans has come down to touchline level for the second half. So he had his voice. The shot was from McFarlane. Nicknamed Des, incidentally, in the West Ham ranks because of a similarity to Des Walker.
Yeah, bubbly character, and again, as soon as he receives the ball, much more positive, went straight to heart, the Liverpool defence, had a quick look up, probably saw Roy Naylor off his line, tried to put it over the top of him, but didn't quite get the range.
And we're hearing that Harry Redknapp definitely was in that West Ham dressing room at half-time, so the senior managers at the club very much involved on this big night for the young players and the youth coaches. And nail-biting for Harry, as it seems to be at times in the Premiership, although not at the end of this season. West Ham at top level have done very well. Of course, no relegation worries going into the final flurries of the season.
You can bet your bottom dollar that he'd like to get one over on his son's team this evening, that's for sure.
This is Cassidy. Another Jamie in the Liverpool ranks.
West Ham boys, I think, have definitely taken on board what Tony Carr and probably Harry Redknapp have said at half-time. They've picked the tempo of the game up took it by the scruff of the neck right from the off, and certainly trying to up the game, taking it to Liverpool.
Heading it forward. Boylan. Brazier matched him stride for stride, had to time the tackle, and he did that splendidly.
This is where Lee Boylan's at his strength, getting the ball out in front of him, pace, but good cover by Phil Brazier.
Omoyedmi. Shot by McFarlane. Roberts had to spin quickly to get it out of harm's way. Been a good 5 minutes at the start of the second half for the trailing West Ham United. Lampard. McFarlane. Hodges was pulling to the left, but in trying to get the ball down, he showed too much of it to Pryor. Liverpool's progress past Bradford City, Luton, Sheffield United, Manchester United, as we mentioned in the first half, who won this competition last season. And their semi-final against Crystal Palace was a very dramatic affair, in which they were actually trailing well into the second leg until a Jamie Cassidy goal took it into extra time. Certainly Hugh McCauley had a nerve-wracking night in London then. Not so many problems here in the first leg of the final, not yet, although he'll be concerned about the way West Ham have started the second half. And Newby can't hold it up on the left-hand side. They'll get in across. Omoyedmi, chance to show his pace. Is he going to go all the way himself? Following in is Hodges. Still Hodges, it hit the goalkeeper. Well, Hodges was waiting all the time for a pass. Omoyedmi had other ideas. But it's certainly a moment in keeping with the way the second half has started.
Great pace from young Manny. Again, attacks the heart of the Liverpool defence. Got to give Lee Pryor credit here. When it comes back off the keeper, he's prepared to throw himself at the feet of Lee Hodges to stop him, giving him the opportunity to side foot home. But a much brighter start from West Ham in this second half.
And the atmosphere at the moment wouldn't be out of place in the Premiership.
Bubbling, should we say.
Forever, of course, at West Ham. Pryor with the throw. And in chasing the game, that's a handball by David Partridge. And chasing the game, West Ham have got to be very careful here against this free-scoring Liverpool side, even without Michael Owen. Too high for Parkinson, just glanced on by Ferdinand. It's a Liverpool throw. Cassidy. He was at the FA school at Lilleshall. This was Carragher, the defender. Ferdinand's header away. Lampard. Thompson trying with a spectacular. Pressed quickly by Thompson and made his own luck for Liverpool then. Stuart Quinn. Coyne. Ferdinand. sure they'd like to get Moyinmi more into the game. Saw the potential in his play with that run. Liverpool certainly kept him quiet in the first half. Coyne. Cassidy. Good recovery by Moore. West Ham were first in the Youth Cup final in 1957 when John Lyle, famous name in these parts, was in the team. In 1959 they also reached the final against Blackburn. Bobby Moore played then.
Yeah, great traditions for the club in this competition. And again, as we said earlier, the hope if they can fulfil the potential, some of these boys, and maybe emulate the greats of the past.
Yes, for some it'll be just the start. For others, maybe it'll end up being the climax of their career when it's all over. But it's a great occasion to be involved in, particularly with the support of the public. We've seen that on a number of occasions up and down the country since we started bringing the FA Youth Cup final to you. Omoyinmi. It's Mark Quinn's mistake. And West Ham have a corner.
Something that they can ill afford to do, really, Liverpool. Just sloppy passes there, which just put them back under pressure. When they just got a hold of the ball, they needed to keep that possession. A sloppy pass, and now they're up against it with a corner.
Boylan goes for the short one. Keith. Not quite deep enough for Ferdinand. Hodges. Yeah, Ferdinand still in the thick of things. The goalkeeper can tidy it up for Liverpool here.
I think Liverpool will have been happy to just have weathered that 10-minute storm that's come from West Ham at the start of this second half. They themselves will want to get possession back, get their passing game going, just to take the pressure off the back four.
Really stifling West Ham just then in midfield. And breaking here with their wide man Stuart Quinn. Pryor. Thompson, who's very neat and tidy in his work. And Welshman, Gareth Roberts. Ruby, who scored the Liverpool goal, if you've just joined us. Thompson. And Roberts wrapped his foot round this. It's a great cross, and Quinn pushes it out. In comes Quinn. And Stuart Quinn, when he hit it then, he had the air of a young man who thought he was certain to score.
Great work. David Thompson setting left-back Gareth Roberts away, whipped in a super cross. That's great defending on the line. I think it was David Partridge.
This is Mark Quinn. Carragher. It's a corner.
Really is a superb cross. Not much the keeper can do apart from get a hand on it. There's David Partridge on the line, actually hits him on the thigh, but he keeps it out.
Carragher going in. But it was excellent play by Liverpool. Thompson to Roberts. Cross that really stretched the goalkeeper. Boylan. Well, there's the saviour. in that particular moment for West Ham United.
Excellent defending from David Partridge, because as the ball was parried by the keeper, he almost instinctively stepped back behind him onto the line.
And the player who was raising his arms in anticipation to bring them down quickly was Stuart Quinn.
I'm sure he thought that he'd done enough. He got in position to finish off the knockdown.
Mark Quinn, Liverpool really looking to reimpose themselves. Ferdinand with other ideas. I won't be surprised if he goes further and further forward if it stays this way. There is the second leg to come, and what is important for West Ham is not to have the deficit doubled. Thompson turns the ball's going to him as though it's magnetised. Lampard. Here's Moore. Way in there. Roberts trying to stop him turning. Making a good job of it, and a bit short to Frank Lampard. Here's Stuart Quinn again for Liverpool. The one really forward then was Parkinson. Just under half an hour to go of this first leg. Brazier. That's lovely play from Liverpool. Parkinson. Really pressed from the back by Partridge and fouled. But the building from the back then was straight out of the textbook.
Excellent play, the way they built it, moved it from the back, kept possession, and that just takes the impetus away from West Ham.
Fleck from Stuart Quinn. West Ham having to find one or two good passes of their own to get out. It's nicely steered across the moor by Lampard. Brazier's positional play on the in-me. There's been perpetual motion. Thompson. Get Omoyinmi involved in the game more, giving him license to roam, and at the moment he's on the left. For whatever mix West Ham have come up with up front, they haven't broken through as yet. Frank Lampard. It's a good try.
Young Frank never afraid to have a shot. When the ball breaks to him here, it's on his favoured right foot. Excellent strike.
He's scored a lead goal for Swansea back in the autumn. Scores a landmark for a young player. First league goal, Clive. I'm sure you can remember yours.
Yes, I came on a sub for Queen's Park Rangers at Aston Villa. Never forget it. Thanks for reminding me, Martin.
I expect you can go through all those that followed as well, but we haven't got time for that. Ferdinand. Now Partridge. It's a key phase of the contest, you feel. West Ham certainly gave it a better shot at the start of the second half. They didn't have a goal to show for it. And since then, Liverpool have just toughened up and tightened up. Ferdinand frightened again at the long ball, but it's back from Brazier. Good control from Ferdinand. Good refereeing from Mike Riley. The flag went up for offside. There's no need to stop the game. Parkinson. Thompson in there to try and sort it out once more in Liverpool's midfield. Mark Quinn, but now West Ham have got it. With Lampard. More to the right. Boylan, Omoyinmi and Hodges trying to take up the right sort of positions to the left of that West Ham attack, but didn't get too far, certainly not far enough to trouble Liverpool. Two Quins in tandem. Header. Cassidy got a toe in against Lampard. Good pressure again, applauded by his teammates. Still instructions coming from Tony Carr. Parkinson stole a yard then. He'll be going to the near post, no one coming in behind him. No need in these circumstances for Liverpool to be over-adventurous.
And this is the danger for West Ham, I think. They try to force the issue, trying to take the game to Liverpool. And I think Liverpool are the past masters, even at this age, of maybe playing on the counter-attack and getting that second goal, which would be so valuable for them.
Stuart Quinn, who set up the goal so splendidly. And the fall was self-induced, in the mind of the referee. Boylan. Ferdinand's in the centre of midfield alongside Lampard, and McFarlane's gone into the back three.
Yes, they've had a little bit of a shuffle round. I think when Tony Carr came to the touchline just a few minutes ago, he wanted Rio Ferdinand to push forward into a midfield position. And Anthony McFarlane can play at right back, push on Jason Moore from the right back position further forward as a right flanker.
Moyinmi, then Liverpool come up with the answer. Parkinson. Check back, they're a bit late breaking on the left in the end. And he realised that he'd got to go forward. Gareth Roberts actually overran where Parkinson was looking to play it.
Actually made about a 40-yard run, young Gareth Roberts, and got himself into a great position. Was hoping it to be delivered in front of him. And he had a little moan at Andy Parkinson for not putting it there.
That's Hodges. It's set up for him to have the shot. Well, there's confirmation of tonight's crowd, and that's terrific credit to the West Ham United fans. I'm sure up on Merseyside on Friday, May the 17th. There'll be plenty out, particularly if Liverpool are in prime position to win the FA Youth Cup for what will be the first time. They've still got to negotiate the last 20 minutes here in defence of their lead. rather given it away. Ferdinand in his new midfield role. And if they don't get a goal, he'll find himself up front before the end of the evening.
It's a distinct possibility. I know he can play centre forward. Quite fancies his chances there.
Based in South London at Peckham. Key. Here is Ferdinand. Didn't get enough on the header.
Talk of the devil. Good build-up from West Ham. Joe Keefe feeding it wide to Lee Hodges. Left foot cross. And there's that man Ferdinand arriving. Not the best of headers. But I do feel that that's something that West Ham haven't done particularly well this evening, is get the balls into wide positions and decent crosses into the box. Maybe with Ferdinand venturing further forward is something that we will see in the last stage of this game.
Back to Lampard. Me again. That's Cassidy. William in the wide position. Moore can reach it. And booted forward by Thompson. And the two Liverpool players are yelling at the linesman. They thought might have been an offside against Jason Moore. Forces a corner for West Ham.
Here we see again Rio coming from that deeper midfield position. Good opportunity. And again on the other side a minute later, young Jason Moore getting to the byline. Really should have got the cross up. Ferdinand again making his presence felt in the box.
And Ferdinand got another header in there, and Naylor was coming out and would have been stranded if that had been on target. Well, it's certainly indicating one way perhaps West Ham can get back in this game. John Newby, having scored what could turn out to be a really priceless goal, goes off. And it's David Larmour, who comes from Northern Ireland, who scored a hat-trick in the third round against Luton, but hasn't really progressed at Liverpool from that high moment earlier in the season. He's not being retained. He's really got an opportunity to maybe restate his case in the context of this match.
I have to say that young John Newby certainly did a good account of himself, one of the younger members of the Liverpool squad. And he scored what could be a vital goal in this evening's performance.
It remains the only goal. Partridge. It's been a good battle between Hodges and a very competitive Lee Pryor. And of course it doesn't end tonight. It will resume at Anfield. It's quite a long time really, 2.5 weeks between the two legs. Certainly means the West Ham players will be a bit late going off for their summer break. I don't think they're over happy about having to wait until beyond the middle of May. Cleared by Roberts. Chased by Lama.
Martin, at this age, I don't think they'll ever stop playing football.
Ferdinand's flick, Omoyinmi has reached it, well saved the goalkeeper Roy Naylor. Got something in the way when the forward seemed favourite to get the ball past him. Boylan. Just taking it out.
This is a long kick down the middle. Rio Ferdinand's presence felt, and young Manny gets a chance, but again, young Roy Naylor chooses. Timing was right to come and smother the on-rushing Manny there. Good work again from the goalkeeper.
You've got to try and say Omoyinmi once. But he's Manny to his friends, and you're one of his friends.
I know him as Manny, yeah. It's far easier.
Well, Rio Ferdinand becoming an increasing force further forward with his flicks and his touches. Oh! And his presence unsettling Liverpool again. And behind him, Chris Coyne couldn't quite make contact.
This is a good ball knocked in. Rio attracting the attention of two defenders there, and it really wasn't read by
Coyne.
Chrissy Coyne. Didn't quite expect it.
Touched on by Larmour. Parkinson pressing. Still much to be decided here, still much to be decided in the FA Carling Premiership. Newcastle at Nottingham Forest on Thursday. Remember, Thursday at 7 o'clock we're live. And then the final countdown. A Sunday to remember, I'm sure. Ferdinand, the flag's up. That was Lampard who had the second header.
Good quality ball again from Joe Keefe. The aerial threat from Ferdinand, good flick, but as we can see, Frank Lampard just a yard offside, straying in, actually reading the situation a little bit too early.
What is so fascinating about the FA Youth Cup is you really never know who's going to win it from one year to the next, because obviously the players change. It goes in cycles at certain clubs with their intake. It can change quite dramatically in terms of quality. It's been going the competition since 1953, when Manchester United were such great ambassadors in those early years, the early Busby Babes.
West Ham were actually quite fortunate on this particular occasion that 8 of their boys are eligible to play again next year. So they will have the nucleus of a very strong side, with the added bonus of the experience they will have picked up over this year's competition.
Coyne. West Ham going to be beaten for the first time since November. It won't, of course, defeat tonight mean the end of their chances in this cup final, and it would be very disappointing. This is Hodges, and, doing everything he can to change the situation. By Brazier. He and Carragher have been very solid citizens at the centre of the Liverpool defending.
Quite noticeable on that occasion when they was expecting the free kick to be delivered into the box, but they doubled up on Rio Ferdinand, the two centre halves. left other people to concentrate on marking elsewhere. They were intent on stopping anything that should be delivered to Ferdinand.
Naylor not panicking, looking all the time. He's had a good game. And Liverpool collectively have been impressive in the way they've gone about their business.
I have to say it's been solid rather than spectacular from young Roy Naylor. A very, very sound performance.
Lampard.
But there's 10 minutes left yet.
But West Ham have lost it in their own territory. David Thompson. Armour had pulled away well. Thompson saw him, tried to spear it through to him with the pass from the outside of the foot. Led to a Liverpool corner. And Mark Quinn's free if they want to play it short, which they have spotted. There's the handball. Certainly a goal kick. Referee wondering whether that was a case of kicking the ball away. I think he's perhaps also concerned about time wasting at this stage. Nothing more than a word of warning. Well, the West Ham youngsters having to really dig deep here. Omoyinmi. Very well read by Carragher. Armour. Neat flick. We've got runners to the left-hand side here. Roberts. Supported by Brazier. Now Mark Quinn. The finder's gone up for offside. Whether it was against Parkinson or Larmour in the centre, I'd have to check with the linesman. Ferdinand well forward again. Well, winning the headers. It's up to the others in the West Ham ranks to anticipate where they're going to drop. McFarlane. It's David Thompson in there, nicking it back again for Liverpool. Stood forward by Quinn. Liverpool's throw.
We did mention earlier that we might start to see the effects of a long, hard season, even for these young lads. They're full of energy. Young Ferdinand has gone to ground, probably with cramp. David Partridge earlier on, a couple of minutes ago. He's stretching himself at this moment. And maybe that just slightly higher level, more physical league that the Liverpool boys play in could now play a part.
Parkinson still going strong, supported by Cassidy. And he's nicked away past Moore. Larmour misses his kick. Has another try here and scores. The substitute makes it 2-0, and that gives Liverpool a real bonus late on.
Good work down the left by Jamie Cassidy, got to the byline, cut it back beautifully. Missed kick by Larmour on the first occasion. And as the ball breaks, he's alert and alive to drill it home. Didn't give up on it even though he'd missed kick there. And as the ball broke to him, this time with his right foot, drilled it into the bottom corner.
Well, he's the player, as I mentioned when he came on, who's being released by Liverpool at the end of the season. So if anyone's watching,
Certainly do it.
Personal advertisement there.
Certainly do his case no harm whatsoever.
So Liverpool very satisfied with the way this first leg has gone. Looking like a side that was settling for just taking the 1-goal advantage. Maybe concerned particularly by the way West Ham started the second half. They've not been over-ambitious in their attacking in the second period, but they certainly pounced then with more good wide play. We complimented Stuart Quinn on the way he set up the first goal, and Jamie Cassidy this time getting down the sides.
I think that's what you have to emphasise, Martin, is the quality of the crossing. When they've got in those positions, they've got to the byline, they've picked people out with real quality crosses to give the forwards opportunities to finish.
Naylor was drawn well out of his base. Wasn't coped with great amount of decision. Cassidy. Look at that for a pass. Arnold bristling with confidence. And this is the reason why.
Good work from Cassidy, yeah. And then when you expect him to just whip the cross in, he's actually had a quick little look and picked out Lamore in the centre.
Two players feeling the effects of their exertions. David Thompson sitting down at the moment, flexing and stretching, maybe pulling up the toes for a touch of grab. He's back on his feet now.
I think people sometimes question, why do the boys go down with cramp? Why is it that they play a whole season in their respective youth leagues, reserve team football? Just got to realise the old adrenaline's been pumping for a good few hours before the game, the build up to such a big game. They've expelled a lot of nervous energy, as well as committing themselves totally to the game, and it does take its toll.
Thompson. Well, Liverpool looking very strong now.
And very happy,
Liverpool,
I think, Martin.
It's not the Liverpool way to take anything for granted with the second leg to come, but eminent satisfaction for Hugh Macaulay and for Steve Highway. Mark Quick.
I think they're definitely finishing the stronger side, as we can see. They've managed to get hold of the ball, keep possession, important areas of the field.
Steve Highway would have been pleased with that run by Jamie Cassidy, reminiscent of Steve's own days as a player down the left-hand side, where he used to do such damage in his direct running. Two number 9s, and it's Parkinson getting the better of McFarlane. Thompson. Thompson. Ferdinand putting himself further and further forward, but it might be all a bit forlorn now. West Ham looking a beaten side at the moment. They've got a couple of weeks in which to pick themselves up and try and work out a way where they might go and do at Anfield what Liverpool have done here at their home, and that's get a 2-goal advantage. Sometimes at youth level, the results aren't quite so predictable, are they, Clive? There's obviously not such a consistency of performance.
Oh, that's right. They do tend to fluctuate, especially when boys are going between teams, youth team, reserves, and one or two maybe travel with the first team. So there's not the greatest of continuity within one youth team. I think we have to say how refreshing it is tonight to see Liverpool play a 4-4-2 formation with two out-and-out flankers who have really provided the difference between the two teams. Attacking fullbacks, getting to the byline, getting quality crosses in across the face of the goal, which has caused West Ham problems all evening. And the two goals coming from situations like that.
West Ham still striving to get one goal back before Mike Riley brings it all to an end here, but as you can see, we're well into stoppage time. And Liverpool in command. And certainly not hanging on for the final whistle. Another run from Quinn, supported by Pryor. Stuart Quinn wondering whether that might just stay in play on the actual marking of the line itself. Well, a big crowd, an excellent night, particularly for Liverpool, who put themselves in prime position to win the FA Youth Cup for the first time by becoming the first side to beat West Ham since November. They've done it with goals from Newby and Larmour. A big disappointment for the home supporters, and we can now anticipate great interest at Anfield for the second leg on Friday, May the 17th, when, of course, as we said, it is possible that the FA Cup itself may be on display. Not over yet, but especially without two important players, a very good night's work for Liverpool.
Thanks to our commentary team tonight, Clive Allen and Martin Tyler. So a trophy would appear to be headed in the direction of Anfield, but a long way to go. When we come back, the thoughts of Phil Thompson. Next,
youngsters aiming to go one better than their first team. They were 2-0 up from the first leg of the final against West Ham. Here now the best of the